Let's move on to seventh chords. A seventh chord is a four-note chord stacked in thirds, and it takes its name from the interval of a seventh here that has been added to a triad. So here we have a triad that we've just studied, a three-note chord, and the interval of a seventh as measured above the very bottom note, the root of the triad, interval of a seventh has been added on top. And a seventh chord, in its most basic position, will look like this. The notes will hit all spaces, or all the notes will hit lines like that. When we have the seventh chord stacked up this way, we can name its parts. Again, we have the root, then we have the third, the fifth, and the seventh. To name a seventh chord, we need to know the quality of the triad, that is, this triad here at the bottom of it, and know the quality of the seventh as measured above the root of the triad. If we know those two things, then we can use a chart to arrive at the name of the seventh chord. So this information corresponds to what you're told on page 38 of your textbook, but here I have it arranged into a chart. So in this chart, this column is the triad quality. So that will tell us the quality of the triad the seventh chord is based on. In this column, we have the quality of the seventh, which is the interval added above the triad. I'll add that right here now. So we're adding the seventh, and that's going to be measured above the lowest note. And in this column, the seventh chord itself has a quality. So the chord we have right here is an example for the major triad with a major seventh added to it, and the seventh chord quality that we get from that is a major seventh chord. Here are the notes. The C major triad with a major seventh added to it, and this chord is called a major seventh chord. Let's read the next line here. If we have a major triad, but we add a minor seventh to it, we're going to end up with something called a major minor seventh chord, sometimes known as the dominant seventh chord. Let's draw that here. We'll make our major triad as it shows in the first column there. Right there. Now we're going to add a minor seventh to it. And B flat is a minor seventh above the C. Minor seventh. So this whole thing is called a major minor seventh chord. I like this notation because it tells you the quality of the triad, major, and the quality of the seventh, minor, and the whole thing is a seventh chord. We'll also often call this a dominant seventh chord. Next one, if we have a minor triad with a minor seventh on it, we get what most textbooks will call a minor seventh chord. So let's create a minor triad like that, C, E flat, G, and we'll add the minor seventh on top of that, and we get the minor seventh chord. I also like the name minor minor seventh. That's from the same notation system as this, where it tells you the quality of the triad and the quality of the seventh to make it a minor minor seventh chord. If we have a diminished triad and put a minor seventh on it, we get a half diminished seventh chord. Let's do that. The notes we need to make a diminished triad are the E flat and the G flat. And then to put a minor seventh on top of this chord, we add a B flat. So this chord here gets that symbol, half diminished seventh. And there's one more. What if we have a diminished triad and we put a diminished seventh on top of it, as it shows in the fourth line of the chart? We'll do that. Put an E flat and a G flat there. Now we have our diminished triad. And to make a diminished seventh above C, we have to use a B double flat. So there are our ingredients: diminished triad with a diminished seventh, and that's called a fully diminished seventh chord. Let's go on to naming seventh chords on the grand staff, or in the wild as we have them here with their notes separated in register. First, we need to know another letter pattern, note name pattern. This is just like what we did for the triads, but now we're doing it on four-note chords: C, E, G, B, E, G, B, D, G, B, D, F, B, D, F, A, and so forth. If we have four notes in a chord and they form a seventh chord, we can put them into one of these patterns. And if we can stack a chord up like this, the first note in the pattern will be the root of the chord. So let's look at our first chord here: E flat, A, F, and C. And as you click through these in your mind, you should quickly come to recognizing that those four notes fall into this pattern, F, A, C, E. As we see them on the staff, it's E, A, F, C. We quickly rotate through them until we come to this ordering, F, A, C, E. So we know this is an F, A, C, E seventh chord, and I'm going to write those notes on the upper staff here. So there it is in its most convenient position. We need to remember the flat on the E, but those are the exact notes we have, and so we know the root is F. Now, how about the quality? This is where we use the material from above. The triad that this chord is based on is F, A, C, so that's an F major triad. The seventh quality of the E flat above the F is a minor seventh. So that's this situation right here. We have a major triad and a minor seventh, and so we can label this seventh chord as F major minor seventh chord. Let's go on to the next one. We have D, B, A flat, and F. So those four notes only appear in one of these patterns here. Which is it? D, B, A flat, and F. Here it is, B, D, F, A. So we're going to write out the chord in that order. We'll do it here. B, D, F, and A flat. Carry that flat along, even though the order in letter names is just plain B, D, F, A. It's actually an A flat. So we know the root here is B. Let's determine the quality. First, we need the triad quality. The triad that this chord is based on is a diminished triad. And then how about the quality of the seventh from B up to A flat? What's that quality? That also is diminished. So the triad quality and the seventh quality are both diminished. So if we read along our chart, we can see the bottom of it up here. Diminished triad with a diminished seventh added to it gives us a fully diminished seventh chord. So that's a B fully diminished seventh chord. All right, here's G, A, E, and C. G, A, E, C. Which of these patterns contains that? The last one, A, C, E, G. So A is the root, and we're going to just compress these notes together there. So we see A, C, E, G. It's the same notes as we had there, but a sharp goes on the C sharp, and a sharp goes on the G. So now we can determine the quality. What quality is the triad A, C sharp, E? That's major. And the quality of the seventh from A up to G sharp is also major. So we'll put our root here. That's the first thing we do. A, and then it's a major seventh chord based on the triad being major and the seventh being major. Okay, I just fixed the final example so we'd get the chord that I wanted to have. And let's name its notes: C, A flat, F, E flat. Or letter names, it's C, A, F, E. So once again, that is F, A, C, E, and to stack the chord upright, we put them all on top of F, so F is the root. Now how about the quality? We have to make sure we have our accidentals in here. F, A flat, C, E flat. So the triad quality is minor. And the seventh quality, just looking at the lowest note and the highest note, the quality of that interval of a seventh is a minor seventh. So this is an F minor seventh chord. Here's another example of that type there, and we can just see it on the screen here. Minor triad with a minor seventh gives us a minor seventh chord. That's the name for it.